Welcome back to Editor's Desk. This is episode 15, volume 15, and I am your host, your editor in queef, your paperboy, your print operator, GageMoreau. We're just going to get right into it, folks. It is Tuesday morning, so you know what that means. I didn't proofread volume 15. Oh, man. These projects are never good when you rush them. And I always proofread before I print, except this week. And I had an article where I said, I used the word write, as in writing a paper. But I spelt it R-I-T-E, as in the party that believes in trickle-down economics. The right. The right. You know, you don't know. The right seems to always be the party of, I suppose, how do they classify the right? Conservative party. Business. Private business. Not a big fan of social programs. But it seems like the right is always the right across the board. Like, I guess Europeans have a pretty close system to ours in America. The right always seems to be the conservative party. The left always the liberal party. From what I heard, I think the right isn't the same all across the board. I think here in America we have a special kind of right. We have alt-right, we have neo-right, we have step right up, we have step up to the evolution. Oh, folks, you just hit a glide. Oh no, don't cut off any words. Shit. Oh, that was a close one, folks. We got real close on the margins there. But you gotta respect your margins. Honor your margins. Just like if you were in a conservative party. Oh, folks, what is going on in the world today? Well, what else is new? Russia has threatened nuclear war. You know, and I can't necessarily blame them, because America has just kept pushing that line of NATO closer and closer to the doorstep of Russia. I can see Russia from my house, says Sarah Palin. Do you think when Sarah Palin said, I can see Russia from my house, she was trying to invoke Alaska's stand your ground policy? You know, I can see Russia from my house, so I should be able to shoot them. Just a theory. Whatever happened to Sarah Palin? Didn't one of her daughters something or another? Isn't that always, I mean, what is worse than being the daughter or son of a politician? I mean, I guess it couldn't be too hard, right? Because you get to, you get to live in a congressional mansion or have Secret Service follow you around if you're important. But, like, they'll always go for the kids. They'll always go for the kids. I guess they didn't always go for the kids. There was, like, what's his name? There was that one person who was running for Senate, I believe. He was something Hart. Brett the Hitman Hart. No, there was some senator or congressman or governor, some important elected official. He could have been president, but they got him with a sex scandal. And this was before sex scandals were popular. before Clinton, before Trump. This was Gary Hart, I think. And he was one of the... This was when journalists kind of jumped the shark, as it were, and went to just fully slandering politicians based off of their intimate indiscretions. So, anyways, I am the editor-in-chief of the Weekly Wiper. This is Editor's Desk, Volume 15. And I hope you've enjoyed the last couple volumes. I've been putting some clips up on YouTube Shorts. Until I find a streamlined way to make reels, I think I'm just going to keep uploading to YouTube Shorts just because I'm already doing so much with this project of the Wiper, with the website and all that. Kind of just chilling for now on that. But the website is officially out. I've now added the website to the assets page. Uh-oh, folks. Major key alert. Yeah, I've added the website now. Will be printed on every wiper. So that's cool. Yeah, what is going on? Russia is threatening nuclear war and Ukraine wants to join NATO, and Biden's like, nah, B, get the fuck out of here. We will happily use your country as a proxy war to slowly whittle away the power of Russia, but we will not welcome you into our club of nuclear protected countries. Oh man, NATO. Used to be called the League of Nations, which is way cooler. Or was that the EU? I'm getting my history mixed up. Well, either way, folks, something used to be called the League of Nations, and that is a pretty cool fucking name. It's amazing how much power elected officials have been given to guide the course of our country. In all countries, really. There are these few governmental elites that we somehow let run. Like, we gave up so much of the country's power to people who sit in big cushy mansions in Virginia or palaces in Russia, and they just make a lot of decisions that affect our everyday lives while they remain protected in their cushy little bubbles. And now they've kind of become celebrities too. So I think that is where politicians really figured it out. You know, as politicians, people used to love them, hate them, but now people have like t-shirts with them on them. You know, how many fucking Ruth Bader Ginsburg bobbleheads are there? Like, it's this cutesy kind of Urban Outfitters feminism of, well, she's a woman and she's old and she fought for a woman's right in the workplace, so every other judgment that she sat on is just, she's a judge. I guess that goes for any other. I mean, Ted Cruz got a mullet and that was like national news, you know? I don't know, I'm talking out my ass as well. Immediately backpedals his point, folks. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish everyone had as much distrust and paranoia in their elected officials as I do. Or not. Maybe I'm just giving into that nihilism of the day. Oh man, could you imagine me as an optimist? I suppose I am optimistic. I suppose I'm just rambling at this point. Gage rambles again, folks. Does he find the point tonight at 11 tonight on Fox News? Oh man. Yeah, nothing really much else is going on. But, there is still the threat of nuclear war hanging over us. Their nuclear threat, I suppose, is always there because there are so many countries with nuclear power. So you could have said that, like, at any time, there's always a nuclear threat. But, it does have a gradient. There is, like, a scale of those nuclear threats. I wonder if YouTube's going to, downgrade this in the algorithm if they say nuclear too many times. Nuclear power, nuclear energy, weak nuclear force. Nuclear. What was the way George Bush said it, so I don't say it that way? Folks, I didn't proofread the primary assets page, and I double copied my prompt for the Venmo. I'm slipping, folks. The quality of the wiper is slipping. Writers have been contacting me saying, Gage, you're slipping. Your quarter sheet magazine is lowering its quality. No. No one is saying that. No one is saying anything except for me in a room by myself cutting a piece of paper. Yeah. So Russia's threatening nuclear war. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? What we do, who we vote for. It's all gonna be over eventually. There's that nihilism again. Yeah, I mean, a real negative Nancy, this guy. But I guess it's like in my head, I'm thinking, oh, well, if I tell people enough about what's going on, then it'll, inform maybe next time they go vote for someone or, whenever they're making a choice about whether to shop local or to shop Amazon. I don't know. He's just straight up rambling, folks. He's a rambling man. Let's get back on track. What else is going on? There's not much going on here, folks. There is not much going on. It's the midterms. It is the midterms coming up. And do we know who we're voting for? Do you know who to vote for? If not, that's okay. Not everyone should vote. I think you should just not vote if you don't want to vote. Now, is that good advice? Let's see. My logic here is if you don't have the desire to vote, or maybe if you don't have the desire to vote, then that probably means you don't care which way the election goes for a number of reasons. Maybe like myself, you're more nihilistic about the outcome of the election. Whoever wins, we lose kind of deal. Or maybe you just don't care. Maybe whoever gets elected is not really going to affect your life that much. Which, may be a good thing. It's not such every election is supposed to be made as like, this is the this is the deciding vote. But every year, without fail, good times, bad times, bad times. There's always an election. There's always an election. That's just the way the country runs. Every 2 years, there's a midterm. Every 4 years, there's a presidential election. And yet, somehow, it's gotten more exciting to vote. Like, I don't know how long we've actually had midterms the way we've had them, but you could say at least 100 years. There's been at least, and I would say even 200 years, right? I mean, I'm going to confidently say, because I don't know, I'm sure there's some wonky rules about elections, and we did go through a civil war, so maybe that changed, the record of when people voted. But let's just say, for 2 centuries, we as Americans have been given an opportunity to elect people every 2 and 4 years, and then there's also special elections. So we'll just say, every 2 years, Americans have been able to vote for somebody without fail for the last 200 years. That's a long time. And yet still, every time the election comes up, it always seems like it's for the fate of the country. Now that, to me, doesn't really make much logical sense. If we've had this many elections, they've gone their course, and for the most part, you can't really remember most elections. So what that tells me is that they're really inconsequential to the greater picture. Maybe that's a cynical view, but I'm just looking at it like a branding or like a statistical view. Like if these elections were as important as they say they are, they being, I don't know, media companies, if every election is as important as they say they are, then shouldn't we have seen more? I guess it's glad that I'm glad these elections have not been as decisive as they've been marketed to be, because that would mean that our country is every 2 years in a constant flux of being saved or being doomed. And that's not a country I want to live in, that would be like, I don't know, like Libya, right when Gaddafi was in power, just constantly in power flux. Like, I don't know who's going to run our country, if they're going to run into the ground or not. I think there's enough guardrails that are up to keep one elected official from bringing it all down, which is great. A big ship turns slowly, and I guess it's been that way for quite some time. But then, who's steering the big ship? Is it the dovish people that want peace among other countries, or are they the hawks that want perpetual conflict to fuel their defense industry machine? I think I'm going to take the latter on that one, Alex. For 400, I'm going to take military-industrial complex. Yeah, I don't know. But how does that affect you and me? Let's get down to brass tacks here. How does the military-industrial complex and its flourishing affect me at all? Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Maybe they play their wicked games with their tanks and their guns and their bombs and their guns in your head. Maybe it's just a game and they like to play, and it'll cost a couple tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of millions of lives. But it's out there. It's not here. We don't see it. We don't feel it. It's just somewhere else. I've never even heard of Yemen. I don't know what they're up to. So why should I care? From, Wethersfield, Connecticut. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't. Our lives are full of things we have to worry about anyways. I just got a letter from my insurance company that says I need an in-state license or they're going to charge me more money next year. Even though I'm going to move out of Texas like a couple months after that. So, private equity companies telling me I need a certain form of identification or else they're going to charge me more money. That I'm worried about more than Russia right now because it affects me immediately, So who am I to say what you should worry about? Worried about your kids, and paying for all the psychiatric medication that they're on. Because, Zoloft is expensive, even if it is a child's dose. Prozac, other anti-anxiolytics. Let's see. I always seem to go right to negativity here. And, as much as this is a podcast that I've made to have existing video content for my entirely physical paper magazine, maybe this can also be cheap therapy. This is a common trope in stand-up comedies to use the stage as your personal therapist. And while I find it hack to bring that up on stage, who am I? Who am I to turn down hack in the face of boiling rage? Well, you know what? I will use this episode as talk therapy because I'm actually cutting out a picture of a therapist right now, specifically a psychiatrist. I wrote an article called Planet Fitness Installs Garden... Oh, just kidding. That's the wrong one. Psychiatrists now prescribing Teslas due to lithium shortage. The joke... Well, you know the joke. You're adults. You can figure it out. I don't know. I seem to have a concentration of constant rage boiling right below the surface. And I don't like it. It makes me feel sick. It makes me feel nasty. I don't like it. And I'm sure there are other people dealing with this as well. And I don't get it, Like, what utility does it serve me to have all of this negativity that's right there, just right behind my eyes, I grind my teeth at night. I get migraines. It's stress. It's stress, and it doesn't come from anywhere, really. Does it come from myself? Is this my response to things? Why is this a response that I have to other things? I have a lot of good things going on in my life, a lot of gratitudes. So why do I choose rage? Why do I choose anxiety? I don't know, folks. These are questions I ask myself, and there's really no end to it. I guess you just keep going, The insurance companies will always find ways to charge you for more things, and we keep paying them. I got this letter that says if you do not have in-state... Actually, let me read it to you. Oh, it's over there, isn't it? Where is it? Well, there's a piece of paper that says something annoying. Yeah, anyways, it says I have to have in-state ID, or else they're going to charge me more money, which I get, or I don't. I don't know. Why the fuck is it any of their business? I've already registered my car. Now we're getting specific, folks. Going back to rage. Why rage? It's because it's easier, maybe? It's easier to be angry than to just take stock of what's happening and work through it. It's easy to just throw your hands up and be upset at the world, because then you don't have to be a part of it. I'm upset that I have to pay for these car insurance penalties that they seemingly throw on, but and they know. I think they know. They know. I guess it is a good assumption that I would have an ID, that if I moved my life 2,000 miles, that I would commit to living here. But they don't fucking know me. It's also just it's a way to keep bringing in money. I mean, these major corporations, it's not like they make all their money they make their money off of fees and stuff too, because they're paying out policies, you know. They're paying out people's car insurances left and right, you know. Every day I'm sure there's a claim that they have to pay out, you know. And it's a lot of money leaving the bank every day, so they got to be able to ensure that they can collect consistently. And they're going to collect your money in front of you by just asking you for the premium. But then they're also going to get you left and right with these little jabs, you know. So they can advertise a certain price, but the effective price is much higher. Kind of like a plane ticket. You know, you buy a plane ticket. Oh, it's just this. No, well, in order to select your seat, it's going to cost you another $45. And in order for you to be able to use the bathroom, it's going to be another $68. And in order for you to breathe, we're actually going to pay an oxygen fee. Those little masks that used to be up there for emergencies. Yeah, now you pay us to have cabin pressure oxygen delivered to your aisle. It's actually a collective thing. You pay for the aisle because we haven't figured out the way to pipe oxygen to each individual passenger. So you, as an aisle, have to select whether you want to live or die. Or we actually offer a faint discount saver where you will be delivered a lower pressure of oxygen in your aisle. So you'll be delirious. You'll be apoxic. You won't die. We will keep you in a suspended life, but that service is only $12. You know, because it does cost money to deliver oxygen to our customers here at United Airlines. So you actually have to pay to breathe now, which might be an article. Yeah, the reason I started the Weekly Wiper is really just to talk shit about corporations, and I started it for multiple reasons, but that's one of the big ones. Talk shit about corporations from behind a wall of comedy. Negative. Let's go positive. Why? I don't know. Is there utility? I guess maybe sounding the alarm, you know? I'm kind of the boy who screamed wolf, you know? That's the thing about those, like, crazies that are shouting in the street. It's like, yeah, they're crazy until they're right. Just kidding. I'm not going to end up as a guy yelling in the streets about a giant organization that's working against us. I'm not a black Israelite, okay? Sound off in the chat if you're a black Israelite. Let's talk, you know. Got some ideas, some branding ideas. Thinking bumper stickers and t-shirt ideas for black Israelites. Yeah, man, there's so many groups. It's crazy how diverse human beings are. But I'm sure if you're an alien, like, you could sum up humanity in its diversity in so few words, too. You know, like, I guess you look at all these, like, advocacy groups. People like, oh, save the rainforest, save the oceans, save us from being killed, save Christians, save the Jews, save Muslims, save money, save the video game, save my checkpoint. We're just trying to keep a grasp on what we have, whatever that is, because we think it's going to be under attack. We think someone's going to try to take it from us. There's a underlying assumption that whatever we like, someone else hates. And so in order to keep the thing we like, we have to take out the people that we think hate it. Huh. I think I might have stumbled onto something, folks. I think I might have just stumbled onto an actual good point out of this nonsense. Let me try to parse that out. Maybe it's an American thing. Maybe it's a human thing. There is a tendency for people... Okay, you like something. If you like something, you may think that other people don't like it. I guess this is for finite. I had a point, lost it. Oh well. Who knows? Who gives a shit? I give a shit. This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the entire world. You know that song? This is the story of a girl cried a river and drowned the whole world. Is that a story of Noah's Ark? Is God a woman? Tonight at 11. Tonight at 11. Remember when news was tonight at 11? Instead of all the time, every day, every second, breaking news constantly. Yeah, boy. We're really circling the drain here on the same 4 points. Okay. Let's switch it up, guys. Let's shake it off. Let's talk about something I don't know anything about, and we'll just start speculating and talking shit. Taylor Swift. What's her deal? Huh? Why does she need to keep making music? What gives her the right to get... shit, I lost an asset. She was in a Diet Coke commercial. That's all I know about her. That's all I know. A little bit more about her. What do I know about Taylor Swift off the top of my head? She is a singer-songwriter from... Let's just make wild speculation and see how close we can get about a celebrity. It's a fun game. She is a singer-songwriter who was born... I know she was born in 1989. That was one of her albums. 1989. We got that in the bag. Let's just guess her birthday. June 23rd, 1989. Taylor Swift was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Is that a thing? Louisville, Kentucky. She is an only child, and she released her first album at the age of 18. All right, folks. Let's see how close I got. After this. Now that I've started releasing them being these episodes, I kind of have an obligation to keep releasing them. I've kind of created my... Anyways, we're going right into Guess That Celebrity. Let's see. Taylor Swift. Let's pull up her Wikipedia. First of all, let's see if Louisville is even in... Now we'll do one thing at a time. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. Let's see, TaylorSwift.com. No, going right to the Wikipedia. Okay, so 1989, I knew that. Taylor Allison Swift, December 13th. December 13th. Whoa. Other names? Nils Sjoberg? She was born in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Other names. Nils Sjoberg? What the fuck does that mean? Born... How does she have an other name? Okay, well. Let's see. Her first album. She signed a songwriting deal with Sony ATV Music Publishing in 2004 and a recording contract with Big Machine Records in 2005. Her first female country artist to co-write every song on U.S. Platinum certified record. What is her discography, folks? Here we go. Taylor Swift, 2006. 2006 would put her at 89 to 2000 is 11 years plus 6. 17. She was 17 when she released her first album, so I was close. If I was doing GeoGuessr, first of all, is Louisville... Now we ask the question, is Louisville even in Kentucky? Is Gage a fucking stupid? Louisville. Holy shit, Louisville is in Kentucky. Okay, so I'm like 3 for 5 on this one. Well, we'll go like 2.5 for 5. I'm like halfway there. So she was born in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Taylor Swift was born in Pennsylvania, and she's a country singer. Now, I didn't know I was going to be talking about Taylor Swift on this podcast, but I think I knew. I think deep in my heart I knew I would eventually have to cross that bridge. I knew I'd have to acknowledge the queen of country pop herself, the Michael Jackson of country, Taylor Swift. Yeah, I don't know much about Taylor Swift. I do know that she's born in Reading, Pennsylvania. West Reading, Pennsylvania. Now, she is country, huh? Yeah, Pennsylvania is country. And there's a lot of country lovers in the far north. And I think that just has to do with being in a rural area and you liking country. I think people like to ascribe, the South as being country, I guess because Memphis, that would make sense. Birthplace of country, I think. Blues, birthplace of blues. Am I getting that wrong too? You know what? We're just going to... I will make a you know what? This may be... I just might have stumbled upon something that's going to help me in life. And maybe this will help you too. I'm a real know-it-all kind of guy. I like people to think I know a lot. But I do bullshit a lot. I bullshit a lot of the time. And maybe, just maybe, this life, my life, will be easier if I just stop pretending like I know as much as I do. Because I'm not that smart. But maybe I know too much. I knew that Louisville was in Kentucky. Government doesn't want you to know that. Is this volume 15? This is volume 15. We're on volume 15 of the Weekly Wiper, folks. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big day. But yeah, I bullshit a lot. I think a lot of people bullshit a lot. But I bullshit a lot too. And I got to stop with the bullshit, folks, because I'm a journalist now and I have integrity. I have to uphold my journalistic integrity to make sure that I do not betray my readers But I know now that Taylor Swift was born December 13th in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is, my roommate, Austin Apostle, sports contributor to the Weekly Wiper, who is now in volume 15 of the Weekly Wiper, he has Taylor Swift on his playlist sometimes. And I think it's, especially for guys, it's just something as a throwaway, or it's something like, he's quirky, he likes Taylor Swift. But she is a great singer, songwriter. She's, especially her early works, bangers, absolute bangers, the lot of them, And I think it's interesting that it's like, especially with guys, it's supposed to be seen as like oh my God, you listen to Taylor Swift? But yeah, of course I do, because, she's not popular for no reason. Pop music is supposed to sound good. There are a few songs that are like some of the Beatles' middle work when they went to India for like a month and they came back different, Those are the songs that are like, oh, I didn't think it was supposed to be that sound good, but it actually sounded good. Like it was supposed to be a surprise. Like, wow, that actually was quite an experience to listen to Norwegian Wood, But Taylor Swift, she's meant to sound good, She's Taylor fucking Swift. I wonder what that is about human beings, that we agree that some things sound good, like all cultures of people smile and laugh. I don't know. Maybe that's not as it's just interesting what is always inherently human, or what's I don't know. What the fuck am I saying? See, this, I just made a promise that I'm not going to talk about shit I don't know about. There's large gaps of knowledge in my head, but I trick myself into thinking I know more than I do. So I'll like catch myself going down a ramble hole of like, explaining something, and I'll start to get out of my depth, and then I'm just going to keep going, because if I stop the train and be like, actually, I don't know, I'm going to get off at this stop, someone else is going to have to pick this one up. For some reason, that gives me not a shame, maybe, but I feel like the need to keep going, I wonder what that is. Like, I don't stop myself. I can. I guess everything's voluntary. I can just stop myself from talking in the middle of a sentence. But maybe do I think that makes other people think I'm bullshitting the whole time? Maybe I am. I thought I knew a lot about Taylor Swift, and I didn't know she's from fucking Pennsylvania. So you learn something new every day. Yeah, the North has a lot of southern, like, I'm from Connecticut, and I guess the more you get out into the rural areas, you get more of those good old boys. A lot of Confederate flags in Connecticut, surprisingly. A lot of Confederate flags in New Hampshire and Connecticut. And that's maybe surprising to some people. They think, well, the Confederacy was down south. Why would there be, Confederate flags up north? And that's because country music. Actually, I wonder if that is the case. I wonder if more country music means more Confederate flags. Because I wouldn't see another reason why a person from Connecticut would want to align themselves with the Confederate flag if it weren't for country music. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I don't know. There's a subculture I'm not aware of beyond country music. But I really don't see any why, even just geographically, you would draw that like Southern pride. You're 1,000 miles away from where the Confederacy started, and you for some reason have pride in the Confederacy. That doesn't track logically with me. But what the fuck do I know? We all come from different places. Maybe who am I to say that someone from Connecticut doesn't have a family member who fought in the Civil War, who fought for the Confederacy, or maybe they just like what the Confederacy is about, who sound off in the chat if you're down with the Confederacy, if you're down with the traitors to America. Sound off in the chat if you're not a patriot. We actually have a very international crowd here at the Weekly Wiper. No, we don't. I don't know what we have for readership. My readership is very local. We are a local paper here in Austin, Texas. And he's going rambling again, folks. I'm not rambling. I'm truffle. I'm a truffle pig, and I'm hunting for good points to be made. I still have yet to stumble on a quote or an idea. Maybe let's go back to that thing about people hating and loving things. Let's try to parse that one out while we're making the cover, folks. I didn't narrate because it's been a minute, but to give you an update, we have nulled all of our assets, and we have now officially laid the cover. Congress passes pinky promise instead of stock trading ban. And it's a pretty decent It's a pretty decent cover. It's a pretty thin graphic, but I have to make space because guess what, folks? We just got our second official advertising from Timothy. Timothy here has taken out an advertisement with the Weekly Wiper, which, by the way, is only $69. It is a steal, folks. A steal of a deal. Timothy has taken out an ad with us at the Weekly Wiper because he wants everyone to know that the Whole Foods here in Austin, Texas, has resorted to selling unsalted tortilla chips, their own house brand of tortilla chips. They're out of the salted ones for some reason, and they've only been selling nasty, unsalted restaurant-style tortilla chips. And Timothy found that so personally offensive that he decided to take out an advertisement with us here at the Weekly Wiper. For that, we thank him. Again, the Weekly Wiper gets its funding from its readers, and taking out an advertisement with the Weekly Wiper is a great way for me to be able to fund this project, to pay my writers, to pay for materials for the project. So Timothy, thank you so much personally from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to pay more writers and develop this paper into what I want it to be, which is, we're getting there, folks. We are certainly getting there. So yes, see Timothy's plea for Whole Foods in volume 15 of the Weekly Wiper. Anyways, folks, let's see what we were talking about. People who love things. I don't know. Maybe, what is it? I had a point earlier. We'll rewind the tape, folks. But, let's see. Yes, well, there's a certain tendency for people who love something, and instead of just loving that thing, maybe it's when there's a finite amount of things, right? So I guess this goes back to last week's episode about the way we vote. We don't vote for who's the best, but who's not the worst anymore. I think this ties in with that, is people love something, and they're worried someone is going to take it away from them. This is a very common thing in American politics, is you love this social program, this person's trying to take it away. You love these rights, they're trying to take it away. You love this way of life, they're trying to take it away from you. But you never hear the other side saying they want to take that away from them. I guess maybe except Beto O'Rourke, in that there was that, like, conservatives love playing this on their conservative radio and conservative channels, I guess, is when he's like, "You're damn right I want to take your AR-15s away," which politically speaking, taking anything away from anyone is not a good, in my opinion, it's not a good political strategy. You know, I think, I don't know, it's just not a good political strategy to take anything away from someone. But it seems that a good political strategy is to tell someone that, so say you're part of, there's two parties, Party A and Party B, and Party A says, Party B is trying to take Party B. You know the musical artist Party B? Party B is trying to take your right to walk your dog on Sundays. They're trying to make it so you can't walk your dog on Sundays away from you. And maybe you don't even like walking your dog. But the fact that someone told you that they're going to take away your ability to walk your dog immediately enrages you. You don't like walking your dog, but you got to walk your dog. And if you can't walk your dog on Sunday, now why can't you walk your dog on Sunday? Well, it's because the Party B in this situation, Party B is running on a platform of no poop Sundays. Party B wants to guarantee its constituency, the B voters, that B voters can spend their days walking around on a Sunday without a single piece of poop in the entire neighborhood. That is a Party B promise. A Party B promise is to have no poop at all. Now, they say that they've negotiated with Party A, that Party A loves walking their dogs. Party B can't stand dogs, but they've tolerated dogs being in their neighborhood. They just don't want to see the poop on their Sundays. So Party B is running on a dog ban. I guess that doesn't work for the example. This is a preposterous example. But I was almost there. I almost had a point. I almost had a point is basically going to be the name of my memoir, GageMoreau. I almost had a point. I have this metal pen that I got from a comic here in Austin. And then I found the exact same kind of metal pen at my Starbucks. And I wonder how common these pens are, because it's a pretty nice pen. So thank you, Ray Genevieve, for the pen. And thank you for whoever lost one at Starbucks for making sure I can have one. Anyways, yeah, so I almost had a point. Yeah, the people with finite resources will be convinced that their finite resources will be taken away from them for political gain. I don't know, I suppose that's always the way it is. I guess nobody researches. I don't know. I haven't voted ever. So, I don't know. Sound off in the chat if you voted. Is that even like... Does anyone even vote? There's so many politically activated people. I talk so much shit about politics and I haven't voted. And I'm sure that's going to upset some people. Anything anyone says can upset some people. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, we vote for, or we are afraid that someone's going to take our thing away. So we hurry to save that thing. We want to protect that thing, to conserve that thing, like our right to bear arms, and people will say this. Well, what do I know if people will say? But it's then harder to Who talks more than I do, huh? Who talks more than this guy? I would like to meet the person. Actually, I don't want to meet the person. I talk a lot. And now I have a podcast, so I can't be like, oh, I will shut up for the rest of this and just make... I guess I could. If I had a top-down camera, folks, you could pay me... If you could pay me $800... Actually, a little bit more than that because I have to buy the lens. But if you could pay me... Oh, shit, wrong screw. There we go. Pardon the production noises. If you could pay me like $1,000, I'll shut the fuck up for one episode. Because that means I'll have another camera to point down here. And you could be thinking to yourself, well, Gage, why wouldn't you just take the camera you have right now and use it as a top down? Well, because you need to see my face. Duh. You need to see me making this fucking thing. You need to see who's behind the fucking curtain. Oh, man. I made a lot of points, or did I? Or did I is the question. I don't think I did. I have a website, folks, theweeklywiper.com. Sign up for our mailing list, and you get one thoughtful email every single week on Wednesday that I haven't made yet. No shit, now I have to fucking write that email. Forget the algorithms, folks. Forget the nasty algorithms, the failing algorithms. All right, folks, sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. Alrighty, well, we've gotten to page 2, folks. That's the puzzle. The page 2 puzzle is... This week's puzzle is a maze. Is a maze of success. You start off the maze with $69,000 in college debt, and you try to make your way into success. So good luck on that. Good luck on the maze. Let's try to salvage this. We're like basically halfway through the episode. 57 minutes to be exact. Let's see. We talked about Taylor Swift. We didn't really get anywhere with that. Corn mazes. Let's talk about them, folks. Why are these kids being left in a field to find their way home? Is our corn mazes a way to train kids to find their way back home when they're lost in the woods? Tonight at 11. I try to think of like the origins. I mean, I guess I could fucking Google this, but like if you were to think of where things, like why there's folksy things that traditions, I suppose you can call them traditions, things that are culturally prescient. Fucking there I go again saying shit I don't know. Fuck me, I put this on the wrong page. God damn it, he's done it again, folks. Oh, no, work backwards. Go from the driest one. Shit. You are witnessing my unraveling. Oh my god damn it. Fucking shit on a dick, dude. How have I done this twice? Oh no. Oh no, folks. You're watching me in a full panic mode. Well, you get front row to my anxiety. Hell yeah. Fuck. He doesn't like to waste paper, folks. This is a nightmare. No. Don't rip. Okay. This has happened to me twice now. It's a near miss right here. I'm breathing heavily into a microphone, and that is great podcasting material. Fuck me. I am reaching the limits of my ability to recover this page 2 puzzle. I do not want to waste paper here, folks. I really hate wasting paper, which is why I was so upset that I had to reprint the article assets for the wiper, because I hate wasting paper. Ah, shit. Okay. We're going to work this slowly. Make sure these assets don't fuck themselves up. Okay. Well. Fuck. Okay. I mean, we are dealing with literally a single ply of paper at this point. Okay. There's a hole in the wiper, folks. Is that even recoverable tonight at 11? There is an actual hole in volume 15 template of the weekly wiper. He fucked it up on the puzzle, folks. He fucked it up on the puzzle. So look out for volume 15 puzzle of the weekly wiper for what has become an absolute fuck job of it. It's okay. It's double-sided, folks. It's double-sided. We will seal the deal on page on the back cover. On the back cover, we'll have something more to work with here. Golly. That was heart-poundingly frustrating, folks. I was really in my bag there for a second, because I've done that twice now, and removing sheets of paper from one another with glue sticks as the binder is, I don't know if you know this, very tedious and annoying. And so, it's okay. It's done. It is fixed as it could be. And we're on to the next thing. We're on to the next problem. See, just there, I think this is an important lesson. Maybe this is what I will get out of this episode. Just there, while I was panicking on the fact that I thought I was going to lose that page. I thought I was going to have to reprint and waste another sheet of paper just for one element, which would make me feel like a goofball, fool, dingus. Just there. I wasn't thinking about Russia. I wasn't thinking about having to deal with a possible anger issue. I wasn't even worried about stock trading bans in Congress. The only thing I was worried about was fixing that puzzle page. And maybe that's the lesson. You should constantly be anxious over something. And if you want to change what you're anxious about, just start panicking about something else. Hold on, I'm going to stick the landing for the YouTube short. if you are dealing with being anxious over something, you should always be anxious about something. If you don't like what you're being anxious about right now, just create another problem that you have to worry about. And then you don't have to be anxious about that anymore. Are you worried about the nuclear holocaust that's I mean, that's not going to help the algorithm. Fuck it. Keep it in, folks. Oh, Lord. I need to go to a spa. I need to relax. I need to chill. I need to, literally just take a me day. Just work on my self-care. Oh, self-care. Self-care. I love self-care as a concept. I love the idea that they were able to build an entire industry around you wanting to feel better about yourself. I guess someone would have done it. But there are different... I've started to think about, instead of major corporations, I like to think of them in sectors. So there's the military industrial complex, there's the pharmaceutical industrial complex, there's these complexes that are made up of multiple corporations that all benefit off of the same incentives, they benefit off of the same conflicts, and basically they don't really share, they fight over it, tooth and nail, trust and believe, but they share in the spoils of certain political, psychological conflicts. And I think an often overlooked industry or an often overlooked sector would be the self-care sector. That's... We've found an enemy to target our vision on for this episode, folks. Every episode needs a bad guy, and I am somehow always the superhero looking to take them down. Sniffles. Pharmaceutical. Industrial complex. Self-care. Self-care comes in many forms these days. Moisturizers, meditation apps, Peloton, Whoop, therapy, Theragun, Hitachi wand. These are the items of self-care. If you are a self-care warrior, these are your weapons. Masturbate, meditate, masticate. Masticate means chew. I just need another M word. And I know a lot of things, and that's why I'm funny. Self-care. Self-care. Who cares? More like, you know what I mean? I'm going to start a movement called the Who Cares movement. It's going to be an entire philosophy around apathy and dying quicker. Because self-care, I guess you could rope in pharmaceuticals, but I want to go to the self-care kind of markets itself as a accessories of health. It's not health per se. It's not, say, pharmaceutical companies who are giving you a targeted, direct prescription or a direct chemical to solve a direct problem. But self-care is this pursuit of some pseudo-spiritual, pseudo-Eastern philosophy, which, I mean, it's not really Eastern. Let's see. Let's try to walk back self-care here. Let's try to take down self-care. The way I see it, self-care is a response to a stress-filled world. It seems like a common through line for self-care. Self-care kind of as a concept popped up around stress, anxiety, panic. Yeah. Seems like self-care is a response to stress. So for an individual like me, I should love self-care, right? I should love self-care. But I don't. Is it maybe because I don't like the people who espouse self-care? Maybe. Maybe that's the reason. They're just, when I hear self-care, when it hits my ear, I think, fuck you. Self-care industrial complex. Yes! Folks, took an hour and 11 minutes of just talking nonsense, but I found a thing that I want to pick away at, something to riff on. And this is a meaty one, folks. Oh, thank you. Anyone who's still listening, I want to personally thank you for sticking with me, for trusting that I'll find something to make fun of. Because this is what I love to do, all right? If you don't watch any further, I just want to deliver this message to you. This is my self-care. As fucked as it looks, and I don't like to call it self-care, but for the point of the argument, for the point of apples and oranges and so on, this is my self-care. Creating things, making stuff. I just can't help it. After 15 weeks of making this shit, it seems like it's the most stressful thing in my life. Why would I put this on my plate? Because if I didn't have this, I don't really know what I would do with I would just do another project. I would just keep doing stuff and making things, writing jokes, making funny newspapers. I would just keep doing it. So I hope you enjoy my mental illness. But back to the show. The self-care industrial complex needs to be taken down a peg because they have skirted by on this false message of love and inner peace, oneness, sponsored smoothies on fitness channels. These complexes, these industries are built around this is a marketing tactic as old as time. They run the same game over and over and over again. They target a lifestyle. They invest a lot of capital into marketing it, and then they create products around it. Because you don't have to create a culture of self-care, right? You have to introduce this concept to people. Because people, let's stay local. Let's stay United States. In the United States, there have been our system, the way our financial system is set up, it does not lend to a consistent, strong economic model for every American, There's always been someone on the out. There's always been someone who's kind of taken shit so that other people can take less. And the whole game is to stay on the parties, to stay on the side that doesn't take shit, or to strive to take less shit. That's kind of the American dream. I want to take less shit from less people and do more of what I love. Can we agree? Yes, because I'm just talking to a camera. So these economic models are set up. So there's always there's the haves and the have-nots. And how many people have and how many people have not? Well, that ratio has changed. There's been good ratios of have to have-nots. There have been bad ratios of have to have-nots. There's been a lot of have-nots and a lot of haves and not a lot in between, which is kind of like what we're dealing with right now. But this isn't a new thing. We've had the savings and loans crisis of the 70s. There's been flash crashes. There's been the Great fucking Depression. There have been hard economic times in America. So why now? Why now is there this brand new industry of self-care? Because the way I view it, self-care is propped up around anxiety, It's a response to anxiety, maybe an alternative to the pharmaceutical industrial complexes, Xanax, Prozac, these anti-anxiety, these mood stabilizers. Whereas there is a lot of crossover, I imagine, with the self-care and prescriptions. I'm sure there's a big crossover of people that are on prescription medication that also partake in the self-care industrial complex. One hand washes the other. So why do I despise the self-care industrial complex? Well, I think for the same reason I despise any what's it called? I just called it complex. It's a group of economic interests that convince you that they are necessary for the result they're delivering. But I guess that's any product, right? That's, you know what I mean? You want your lawn to grow bigger and more beautiful? Well, get True Grow from Monsanto. From True Grow. You know, what was that shit? Roundup, you know? Monsanto. Get rid of the weeds, you know? And maybe that's a good way to see it. The self-care industry is like the agricultural industry in that they want to kill the weeds of stress and let only the vegetables of peace and oneness and enlightenment to grow in the garden of your mind. The thing is, our minds are full of weeds. And they may always be full of weeds. And maybe you can't get those weeds out. Some people want to just smash and burn the garden to the ground. I will like to say now, suicide is never the answer. Always take care of yourself, even if you have to give in to the self-care industrial complex. Please take care of yourself, folks. I want to say that I want people to actually live and love, not even love their life. You know what? This is the whole point. I love people. The longer that people stick around and the more people there are, I love it. Because I'm a humanist, I guess. I'm a fucking humanitarian. I love humanity. I love individuals. I love people. They're so weird and fucking interesting. And more people equals more problem solvers to fix more problems. We have all this space in the world. I'm not one of those like, oh, we're too overpowered. We got to start killing people off. We have to start making more space. There's too much traffic. I don't like that. Because it's dope to be alive. I want to be alive, and I want other people to want to be alive. Now, with that being said, maybe there's a culture of wanting our lives to be a little more perfect than they are. We're trying to optimize and make efficient our days. We're trying to program out any barrier to pure enlightenment. It's like you can't have it both ways. If you listen to podcasts about history and true crime okay, I have to make a cohesive point here. I am obligated now that I've found my meat to prepare it in the right way. Okay, here we go. Self-care. Self-care is a brand of spirituality, medicine, fitness, all around health, wellness. We can wrap those industries in there as well. Health and wellness. Self-care industrial complex is an economic grouping targeted primarily to upper middle class white women for them to feel better in their lives. That is so hard. And, some of the men have jumped on board to show that they're down with the cause. Let's cast aspersions, folks. We're already in it, all right? That's what I do. I'm a comedian, and all we do is generalizations. Self-care is for middle-class white women, and mostly upper middle-class white women. I guess they are the target of a lot of generalizations in my comedy. But that's because I grew up with a lot of them, folks. Women, that is. White women. Respect my margins. Want to make sure I'm not fucking up here. Okay. The self-care industrial complex is composed of meditation apps, at-home food delivery. Let's start just naming off and we'll just pick them apart. HelloFresh, Headspace, BetterHelp, and I put BetterHelp in the therapy category because I think there are enough therapists where you can get a therapist. If you want to go see a licensed professional, I think BetterHelp is a fucking scam that's filled with half doctors that are used to push pseudoscience. Sue me, bitch. I think BetterHelp is a We'll get back there. That's maybe a little bit closer to the pharmaceutical psychiatric. Self-care. The time. Well, let's unpack that. Self-care is a concept that you alone can. It's a very lonely concept. It's a very lonely concept, self-care. You're taking the responsibility of your care into your own hands and your Can you really care for yourself? I just don't know if it stands to be the same. Like Jordan Peterson's 12 rules of life or whatever, one of them is to take care of yourself as if you are someone you're responsible for. Treat yourself like basically treat yourself like your dog. It was the summary of that chapter. So we take care of our dogs so much and us not so much. Like we take care of ourselves not so much. So even Jordan Peterson is pushing self-care. But I think it's a well-meaning concept that has been hijacked by all these companies that put themselves out to be your savior. If you take the right supplements, you can be in a better headspace. If you take the right chemical, it's just like take the right chemical, feel the right way. But my point is maybe we shouldn't feel okay about certain things. Maybe we should harness that stress. Instead of trying to take the right supplement to make you feel less anxious in this terrible job that you've had for the last 6 years, maybe hold on to that anxiety. Hold on to that feeling of undervalue, that negative self-talk. Hold on to that. And search it. Search it for its origin. Search it for where it's coming from. Because you can take all the supplements and do all the Pilates and do all the things you're going to need to do, but unless you find where that is coming from, that weed will always find its way back into your garden. Or you can nuke it. You can take just a copious amount of chemicals that will prevent any weeds from growing, but then you'll have cancer. So that's like the Monsanto approach. So if we walk it back from there, then there's everything else, right? I am very neurotic. I kind of carry around a lot of just being anxious and overthinking things all the time. And I don't want to be that way. But how much of that makes up who I am? Do I need self-care? I probably need self-care. But also that's a term, it's a weird term, self-care. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Am I overthinking it? Of course I am. But we found our meat, folks. I'm gonna keep milking this cow until she gives me the chocolate milk. Self-care. Well, Gage, if you don't like the way they're talking about self-care, how would you talk about self-care? Well, for one, the part I don't like, it's not that I don't like self-care. I'm going to start nitpicking here, folks. We're getting into the nitpick hour. Almost exactly 90 minutes. The nitpick 90-minute marker. The thing I take umbrage with the self-care industry is that they're all pretending like they are the answer, which I guess you could say about any products. You know, the Moderna vaccine is the answer to being legally forced to stay in your home all year. You know, voting for this president is the answer to those latent racist feelings you have, and you're just using legislation to be like, I'm not racist, I like American values. You know, we have codes, and we just don't want to say how we really fucking feel. We don't want to be honest with ourselves. We don't want to be honest with our coworkers, with our family, with our spouses. We just don't want to be honest because it's just too fucking difficult. And also because maybe if you're honest, you realize you're the asshole. Self-care is a way to protect your ego. It's a way to protect your way of life. Change nothing about, you know, the way you think about things. Change nothing about your opinions of other people, but instead to participate in rituals and consumption that will magically get you to a place of enlightenment. When have we ever felt enlightenment as Americans? When have we ever felt that we have reached this harmony, this certainty that it's the end? We've gotten there. We feel good. There'll always be something else that's going to make you feel like shit. How do you deal with that? Do you rebuff it? Do you push it away? Why do we push that away? The things that make us uncomfortable. We are averse to those things. Evolutionarily, I'm sure there's a reason. I don't feel discomfort. We want to feel fine, but like, I don't think we're programmed to just feel fine all the time. People stuffing chemicals into their face to get back to some equilibrium that never even existed. Now, sure, you know, there is a level of uncertainty. There's a level of instability that's you just can't function with because it's just too heavy of a burden to deal with that. I get it. So, you know, take your athletic greens and log on to your betterhelp.com and feel good. Feel good for a week. Feel good for a month. Feel great. But I think ultimately, you're going to feel like shit most of the time unless you're doing exactly what you want to do in your earnest and honest self. Right now, shitting on an industry that markets itself as wholesome and loving and full of promise to make people feel better, it makes me feel so good. There is something I can't explain to you. You just saw me transform of like, I was miserable. I was like, didn't know what to talk about on this podcast. And then I just stumbled upon fuck the self-care industry. You saw how much I light up? Look at me now. I'm smiling. My shoulders are back. My whole body feels great right now. What is that? I don't know. But I do know I needed self-care. to shit on. That's me in my element. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe because when I feel the best is when I'm finding something to shit on. It could be worse. It can always be worse. It could be worse. I could be excited taking someone down personally. But I find that I don't like personally taking someone down unless that person is like of such a high status. But even then, I think it gets tricky because I personally put too much nuance on human beings. Like, I'll always second guess even myself. But institutions I can almost never fault, or I can almost never back down from picking them as an enemy. I love it though. What is that? Why do I like that? Something to explore. Maybe that's something that I'm going to have to pick apart. But as long as I remain positive about it, I think it'd be fine. You know, I have very antisocial tendencies when it comes to like writing this paper and just constantly picking fights, even though no one's fighting with me, but like constantly picking fun at institutions and legacy groups, because I don't like that they have all that power and that we're fine with them being super bulked up on their power and then us not having so much. But we as individuals have so much power. That was a tangent. Now we're getting back to the point. See how it's just dropping, the energy's dropping. I want to bring my energy back up. Boop, 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 boop. We're constantly trying to supplement, trying to pep myself up. See, that's even me. Supplementing, trying to course correct. But I love it. It's a thrill. It's an intensity. I'm performing. This is me. I'm on. Anyways, self-care industry. Why you should hate them. Tonight at 11. Tonight at 11. That's going to be the name of my memoir. Oh, we had a point. We had some energy. We lost it. Got lost in the sauce. But I think we got a lesson out of this. I don't want this to be a waste of time, of yours, of mine. If you're watching this, if you're taking the time to watch 2 hours of me make a newspaper, I want you to feel like, you got your time's worth. Your time is very valuable. It's valuable. Even if you don't value it, I value it because I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, smash that share button. Tell your friends, tell your grandma. Ask her questions. Talk to your grandma. Can you do that for me? Don't even tell your grandma about the Weekly Wiper. Just talk to your grandma, please. She's so lonely. She just wants to hear that phone call. Please, if you still have a grandma, you're so lucky. Pick up a phone, find her number, ask your mom, ask your dad, call your grandparents, and talk to them. Okay? Or else what's the point of even being a grandma? You got to raise your kids, but you don't have to raise your grandkids. For grandparents to exist and be in your life it's what makes all of this worth it. Because you could have a kid and that kid is a piece of shit. But then that kid has a kid and that kid turns out to not be a piece of shit. That's magic. Because you're thinking, if what I teach my son is going to be what he teaches his son, then we would just have this constant regression into doom. If one piece of evil presented itself and it flourished and it just kept distilling and distilling until its final, most raw, evil form, that's what would be expected mathematically from rearing children exactly the way you were raised. If you were raised like shit, and then you raised them like shit, and it would just keep going, then, which is why the concept of like toxic masculinity doesn't really work. Because like men were more toxic way back in the 40s, and now it's 2022, and guys know what consent is. So like, you know what I mean? Like you would expect it gets worse, but it's gotten better from the view of like toxic masculinity. I feel like men have become less toxic. Now, then there's the response. We're getting on a tangent already, but I think my point stands is call your grandparents, tell them that you love them. Even if you don't love them, at least call them, please. For me, from the grandma that I have left, call your grandma. They're awesome. Grandparents are the shit. Now back to the point. Self-care. I want to start a movement in a response to self-care called Who Cares? It's not nihilism, it's apathy. Instead of taking the time to meditate and be present and hold on to those feelings, bring them in, take mushrooms, find your ego death, do an ayahuasca trip, do yoga, listen to Andrew Huberman so you can live longer and listen to more Andrew Huberman. I don't know who this Andrew Huberman guy is. I just keep hearing about his lab or whatever. And from what I gather, he wants you to live longer. My theory is that the self-care industrial complex exists to keep itself alive. They always tell you, oh, the stresses of the world. Well, if you weren't telling me about, I guess, no, they have found you because it's so stressful. My point being is, folks, I don't have a point. Do I have to constantly have a point? I always stop myself when I'm rambling and say, my point is, and then try to stick the landing like I even had an idea of what the fuck I was talking about from the beginning. But that's the fucking game, folks. I'm just pretending this whole time like I know what I'm about to say next. Pflugerville. See, I didn't know I was going to say that. But I did. Did I? When did I know I was going to say it? All right, folks. Now we're going into like a mania. So let's walk it back just a little bit. Let's walk it back to the last thing I was talking about. Self-care industrial complex. It's got to go. For too long, these fit teas, yoga mats, CBD dog food, and meditation courses have pilfered the savings of good, hardworking American men and women. This industry propped up on staving of fighting your anxiety, your stress, your teeth grinding at night, your constant pacing and hating your life and wondering why you didn't listen to your dad and just fucking take up the woodworking class. Self-care. No. Who cares? The Who Cares movement is a movement I'm starting where we take the proposed problems that self-care is trying to correct for, that self-care is trying to fix, and we here at the Who Care movement would like to posit what problem? What problem is there? Do I hate my job? Do I not walk enough, drink enough water, talk to my kids enough? Well, who else isn't? Who am I trying to be? It used to be called self-help. Now it's self-care. Because it's supposed to sound more caring. We used to have to help ourselves. Self-care is just the self-help movement with less books. See, the thing is, people don't read anymore. And self-help was a book-based economy. I've lost so many assets. What the fuck? I'm missing an asset. We'll find it. Never. See, the self-help movement was Tony Robinson. And now the self-care movement is YouTubers and Instagram influencers, and people don't read anymore. So they're not books anymore. Now they're, Instagram reels, and they're not books anymore. They're just vitamins and supplements and minerals and dissolvable packets of electrolytes and joy that fit in one bottle of water. But it always must be a bottle of water. And he ran out of steam again, folks. Self-care industry's gotta go. I think I've said self-care about 100 times now. Next enemy. Man. No. I think we've cared enough. I think I'm ready to stop caring. The apathy wagon is in full. All aboard. Apathy wagon. That slips into nihilism. That slips into nuclear war. How to avoid apathy while avoiding self-care. Of course, we should take care of ourselves. But how is it there's so many industries that have propped up around taking care of ourselves? How the fuck am I supposed to know that they're doing the right thing? Because apparently I didn't know how to take care of myself before. So now I have to take you on your word that you know how to take care of me better than I know how to take care of myself. Seems like we're trying to optimize ourselves to a point where, fuck me, not enough space on the page. Gotta respect my margins. I got one fucking line here. Okay. Seems like we're trying to better ourselves. But how do we know? How do we know where it goes? The Andrew Huberman clan talks about I don't know what the fuck they talk about. From what I gather, this kind of longevity movement, I guess maybe that bleeds over into self-care. Self-care is like the precursor to longevity, the longevity movement of like wanting to stay alive longer. For what? What do you want to see? Now again, I want people to be alive, and I want people to stay alive, and I want people to exist. But this fascination with prolonging your life beyond, and they make a big point. They make a point of it being like they're like basically cheating death. And I guess this is a tale as old as time. There's always been snake oil salesmen. They're trying to push the next miracle cure that's going to keep you alive. So why do we think we've cracked the code on this? Like we know anything? Because all these supplements and these fitness routines are very new. These things are very new to us. I show me the 96-year-old that has been taking AG1 since they were a teenager. Show me the 96-year-old that's been doing CrossFit since they were in high school. We just don't have the data yet. So I will remain hesitant. I will keep eating Lay's potato chips. And I will keep doing 14 sit-ups a week. Because I'm an American citizen. And I trust science. That one's for YouTube Shorts, folks. Yeah. I am actually interested in how this all shakes out, Everyone, always, at every turn, people seem so certain of the new technology that it's the saving grace. But like anything, like any product, I mean, like anything in life, we won't know its full effects until well into our future. We barely know what vaping does now. How are we supposed to know what any? I mean, it seems good to have all this stuff, but we don't really know. Nobody knows. We're just kind of guessing. We're like, well, this shows generally in these studies that this helps longevity, but it's crazy that they're able to market longevity, and these people are like 30 years old. If Andrew Huberman was 117 years old, I would buy whatever he tells me to buy tomorrow. But he's like a 32-year-old dude who's ripped. Good for him, but if you're trying to push longevity, I'm going to need to see a couple wrinkles. Is that too much to ask? Where are the World War II survivors that are pushing longevity? And they always get interviewed, these super old people. What's the secret to a long life? And they're like, I smoke like a chimney. I smoke like a chimney. I fucking drink like a fish. And I beat my wife like Ike Turner. And that's how I live to 147. Well, geez, Gerald, except that last one, we could market all of that. So Winston's brought to you by Winston. Everyone's looking for the secret. Everyone wants to eke out a couple more years on this planet. I'm right there with you, buddy. If I could, I would be an immortal vampire. Get blood from like a cow or something. Like have some livestock blood. I'd want to be immortal. I want to see how this all turns out, I want to see how the American Empire ends. I want to see what a nuclear bomb would look like going off, because I feel like we're definitely going to see one of those eventually. But yeah, I want to see. I will show you the world. Miserable bombings and suffering. I think we'll see. I think I'll still see some cool shit in my lifetime. I'm sure. I'm sure that I'll get a chance to see something cool. It's really all we're trying to do, man. Just trying to see some cool shit. I don't even know if I'd want to make like a marked change in history or do anything of substance. Just want to see some cool shit happen. I am a selfish American who wants cool things to happen and me to be around to see them. But yeah, self-care industry is propped up by influencers on Instagram who are peddling snake oil, shitty exercise routines, and mental health services that are brought to you. Let me say this to camera. I need to make a point because I need to promote myself, because I need other people to hear more of these episodes where I don't talk about anything for an hour, and then at hour 2 I figure out what I want to talk about. The self-care industry is propped up by people selling snake oil, shitty fitness routines, and mental health services provided by Zoom doctors. Okay? Meditation, masturbation, and mastication. I already said that one. All right, one more time. Let's see. It's time to talk to the camera to get some clips. All right. Who is watching this? I mean, literally, it's not anything. God, I really do need a second camera, because this would be some people actually might be interested in looking at what I'm doing. I gotta respect that 1/4 inch. Okay. I can show you the world. Shining, shimmering splendor. What's the clip? What are we going to say to camera to promote? What reel are we going to make here? We've already got the camera set up. We've already done the work. We're on the last page. So what in God's name is going to be my clip? We got to salvage at least one more from here. It's about the self-care industry. Let's workshop this one, guys. It's about the self-care industry and how they are bad. Why are they bad? Because they are selling promises of better life, and I don't even know what a better life would look like. Sad. Very sad. Shit. Cut my life into pieces. Self-care is the self-care industrial complex is propped up by snake oil salesmen, shitty fitness routines, and mental health services provided by people who went to school on Zoom. Don't buy into the bullshit. You should focus less on self-care and more on who cares. Okay, well, that's a pretty good one. This is just going to be a podcast of me trying to create a clip to promote a podcast where I want people to listen to me trying to promote. I've bought into the algorithm. I've done it, folks. I've come full circle and sold out to the man. I've given up on all my principles of true creation and good joke writing, and instead I'm just trying to get a cheap clip off of an internet show based off of a paper that I make out of my room. There's many layers to this desperate need to be heard. That's my clip. Shining, shimmering splendor. I can show you the wiper. I'm actually the most proud of this last one here. Page 4. No, it wasn't even page 6. Page 4. Learn to code, laid off coal miner, now mines data. The image, that is, I'm the most proud of. Kind of gives a very dynamic image, though. You'll see. I'm actually going to write in the fact that I was written by me because I can't find that last little measly asset. I'll write it in myself. Fuck it. Alright, one more time for the camera. Dead air. Dead air channel, folks. This is the dead air channel. Oh, this is where I write in. This is where I write in the answer to the puzzle. No, this is where I write in. I'm going to do another 150 copies, even though I'm getting scarily close to not being able to hand out enough of my weekly wiper. It is Tuesday. It is the last day I'm going to be handing these out when I go to San Antonio tonight. Out of 150. We've done it, folks. We made the weekly wiper, volume 15. And now I have to stick the landing on this self-care bit. I've said it like a million times, right? Okay. Take 3 on making a clip to promote a podcast about me trying to make a clip to promote a podcast about me trying to make a clip. All right, now it's time to process the first copy of the weekly wiper after I just took a shit. It's a tradition, folks. It's not gross. It's a tradition. All right. Let's see. Take the guillotine to the paper. Make a lot of noise. Make some fucking noise. And then handy dandy stapler. And page 2 goes with page 1. Then we put it into the machine. And then we stapler it. Staple time. I cannot tell you how much this staple has changed the game for the wiper. I love folding it and feeling the staple slip between my fingers and just it be so... it's sexual, it's sensual, it's lovely. All right. This is number 150 of 150, and this copy always goes, as it stands now, to Austin Apostle, who actually contributed in this week's Weekly Wiper. All right. We're still rolling. The Weekly Wiper, Volume 15, December 5th, 2022. The cover article is Congress passes Pinky Promise instead of stock trading ban. Members of Congress and the Senate are meant to represent... By the way, this is written by GageMoreau, that's me. Members of Congress and the Senate are meant to represent their constituents' best interests on Capitol Hill, and they deserve to be compensated for their noble venture, right? Just because these representatives can control entire economies with their legislation doesn't exclude them from the free market. Several congressional contrarians have made claims that representatives were cheating the system with their privy information. Right before COVID lockdowns were written into law, some members of Congress allegedly sold off massive chunks of shares to protect their portfolio from the economic disaster they were about to create. Some would call this insider trading. I would call it a coincidence. But what do I know with my MBA from DeVry? After years of Americans questioning these humble public servants' behavior with their business dealings, Congress has finally penned a response to the poor people's woes. While the 99% scream for total stock ban, congressional committees were cooking up a piece of legislation to make history. On September 11th, 2022, Congress crashed a plainly written promise through the center of world trade with PP 69. PP 69 is a new type of legislation that's not a bill or an executive order, but a, quote, presidential promise. The promise signed by Joe Biden states clearly that no member of Congress or the Senate or immediate family will be able to trade in the stock market at all. This new type of legislation is classified as, quote, without any legal consequence if broken, but all representatives on the floor were witnessed crossing their hearts and hoping to die. And then on page 1 is Timothy's ad for the fact that Whole Foods is out of salted tortilla chips and that they only have unsalted tortilla chips, and that he took particular umbrage with this. And I agree. That's it's a devastating loss to not have salted tortilla chips. So please support Anthony. All right. Page 3. I skipped page 2 because page 2 is the puzzle, of course. So nothing I can narrate, I suppose. All right. Page 3. Psychiatrists now prescribing Teslas due to lithium shortage. Supply chain issues are all too familiar to people of the 2020s, from palladium chips to meat and other foodstuffs. When you look beyond the immediate essentials, other vital but easily forgotten products show up in the supply chain mayhem, like psychiatric medication. While the Zoomers have been getting their steady doses of Ritalin to keep them focused during at-home schooling, people with bipolar are being left out to dry. Just under 2.5 million prescriptions for lithium were filled in 2020, and by 2025, there might be no lithium left to prescribe. The mood stabilizer medication just so happens to be composed of the same material that is essential for battery production. Elon Musk has been working closely with China to shore up supply chains of rare earth metals and other materials to keep the Tesla gravy train running. With all the lithium supply being gobbled up by the muskrat himself,
Psychiatrists are left with few options for their severely bipolar patients. This one client of mine was so desperate for her medication that I prescribed her a Model X out of sheer frustration. To my surprise, Blue Cross Blue Shield actually processed the script and said it would be covered by her HSA. That was Dr. Carl Freud from South Dakota, and he said that after that one client, he received a sharp increase in visits relating to severe bipolar. Through a loophole in the medical billing system, hundreds of alleged bipolar patients have shot to the top of the waitlist for Cybertrucks. It's good to see the medical system works well to serve the needs of those who are suffering. That one was written by GageMoreau. That's me. This one was also written by GageMoreau. That's me. Learn to code. Laid off coal miner now mines data. Dwight Plinkett only ever worked in one place, and that place was Blackrock coal mining. Mr. Plinkett was so excited to work in the coal mine, so eager that he was swinging a pickaxe for them on his 9th birthday, West Virginia's legal working age. Dwight would sing on the job like one of the Seven Dwarves if the Seven Dwarves sang Toxicity by System of the Down. So you could only imagine the dread in 52-year-old Dwight's heart when he was told that BlackRock went bankrupt. So you could only imagine the dread in 52-year-old Dwight's heart when he was told that BlackRock went bankrupt and is shutting down due to insider trading. Oh no. Take a quick sip of water, brought to you by water. It comes out of your tap. That water break is brought to you by water. It comes out of your tap. Now back to the article. If you look at Dwight Plinkett's Facebook, buried in between political rants and buffalo chicken dip recipes is a post from the day of the mine shutdown. The post just says, quote, BlackRock was my favorite company and they helped me support my family. Now they're gone and I don't know what to do with myself. An anonymous account commented 13 minutes later, quote, learn to code. With rage-filled tears in his eyes, Dwight Plinkett listened to the thoughtful stranger and began a journey of self-education. After just 3 months, Dwight learned enough coding to find the anonymous commenter's tax filings, social security number, penis size, preferred toothpaste brand, blood type, and favorite Friends character. He couldn't sell the data to Facebook because Facebook was already selling it, but there were plenty of customers on the Black Facebook, dark web version of Facebook. Now Dwight Plinkett, not his actual name, is on a mission to sell the data of nasty commenters across the internets. Trolls beware. And now we get to my favorite page of the entire paper, page 5. Page 5 is always for a guest writer. This week's writer is Austin Apostle. Austin Apostle writes, Stampede, refs red card rowdy rioters. On October 2nd, 2022, in Malang, Indonesia, the referees of Arema FC versus Persebaya Surabaya soccer game earned their paychecks and then some. Arema FC suffered their first home loss 3-2 against the rival Persebaya Surabaya. It was a hard-fought game by Arema FC, but by the final whistle, the field was filled with blood, sweat, and tear gas. Usually, after the final whistle, the referees will call it quits, but they decided to put in some overtime. After the shocking Arema FC loss, an angry and restless crowd rushed the field. The game officials attempting to control the angry mob of 40,000 people did the only thing they had the authority to do. They began handing out red cards. Quote, I've never seen so much biting and spitting, one of the referees said in an exclusive Weekly Wiper interview. Not long after local police began throwing tear gas at the crowd of angry fans, which made the referees' jobs a little harder. The ref stated, quote, I'll admit it wasn't easy spotting all the foul plays once the tear gas was thrown, but we did the best we could, end quote. FIFA has previously advised against the use of tear gas at soccer stadiums. FIFA prefers the use of stun grenades and for crowd control. However, they understand that they may have been overkill in the situation, as the audience was stunned enough after such a devastating loss. 125 people died at this event. If you would like to write for the Weekly Wiper, please submit 5 headlines on the weekly topic. You can either go to theweeklywiper.com and go to page 5 window, which is at the top navigation bar, which is where you'll be able to put in your name, your email address, and your 5 headline pitches on the weekly topic that is there on page 5, or check the Instagram at _weekly_wiper on Instagram. And I'm yawning. All the details for the Instagram submission are at the top of the bio of the Weekly Wipers page. So please submit if you want to write satire. We pay $20 for 250 words. The best headline. Submissions are due at noon on Wednesdays for whatever the topic is. So in the afternoon on Wednesday, I will pick the winner, and that person will write 250 words, and then they'll get $20. So if you'd like to write, please submit, and best of luck. Now for the final story, page 6. Written by GageMoreau, that's me. Planet Fitness installs garden hoses for new van life membership. In these trying economic times, folks need any savings they can find, from buying in bulk, carpooling, or being treated like a farm animal for $5 a month. The trend of van life started taking off during the COVID pandemic, when the trust in financial and governmental institutions decayed so much that some folks just decided to give up on pursuing generational wealth and live out of a van. Once a punchline on SNL has now become a trendy way to see the country, but mostly Walmart parking lots. One common van life hack is to have a cheap gym membership so you can use their showers and bathrooms. Bill Bode, COO of Planet Fitness, noticed the uptick in shower-only members and the issues it presented. Quote, "These van life people would bring their entire cabinet of toiletries and really make themselves at home in our locker rooms." Bode knew it would be bad optics to outright ban the van clan, so he had to get creative. Quote, "I had our CFO bump all memberships up $5 and make a tier at just $5 for just using the, quote, showers." Bode explained. The van life members' showers, quote, "are just a dozen or so garden hoses out back of each gym, running the coldest water." Bill shared the results. Quote, "These homeless freaks can't turn down a deal. They all pretty much switched overnight, and now the locker rooms are back to just naked geriatrics." End quote. Now van lifers can wash themselves and their vans at the same time. Thank you so much for listening to or reading The Weekly Wiper. I've been your editor in Queef. If you're finding this as a short version, please watch Editor's Desk on Volume 15. I ramble for an hour and a half and then finally find a topic I want to talk about, and then I pretty much ramble on that topic. This is a new series. I'm finding my voice here. I'm finding my legs here. But either way, The Weekly Wiper, is what I'm most proud of right now, until I get another idea and want to spend my days off doing it. So please check out The Weekly Wiper. This is volume 15, 15 weeks and counting. I have not missed a single week. And it's not only because I love doing it, but because people have shared how much they enjoy it. So please justify my madness. Tell me, leave me a comment, send me an email, send me a DM. Just let me know that you're reading. Let me know if you find it funny. I don't care about the likes and the comments and the subscriber. Those numbers, they mean nothing to me. What matters to me is that people actually enjoy this. I try to make this magazine every week so that people enjoy it. So please, if you like it, let me know. Drop a like, drop a comment. That's cool. Just share it with someone. If you have a physical copy, please share it with a friend. Let them enjoy. Get a couple chuckles out of it. And I'm not going to hold you any longer. This has been the volume 15 of The Weekly Wiper. You have been a very dedicated crowd to listen to 2 hours. And thank you so much. Stay dreaming, stay scheming, stay steaming, and It's 11 o'clock, folks. Do you know where your kids are? 'Cause I don't. Anyways, that's how I end this episode. Goodbye. Bye.